Because I'm getting to see your point. Your point here is in some rare cases where people have two cards, because we recall on our 2015 election program in the evenings, you showed pictures of someone who had that same problem of two cards. And if you hadn't actually taken the pain to find out what exactly that is about, what that thing is about, you wouldn't have known that one overrides the other for you to know which to come with on election day. And in any case, if you're found with two cards, you just might be arrested before the security agency will know that you're not there for something fishy. So that is where education comes in now. That's your point, right?
Yes, my point is that INEC should tell us, one, if you're registered twice, either you should go and collect the second card, or you should not go and collect the second card.
So what has your wife done?
No, I have asked her, please go and check whether you can get the second card. Because she has not, I mean, immediately she got the first one, she kept quiet until I got this information in the course of my interaction with election officials that are being trained. So you see, I have the privilege of getting this information. And perhaps if I didn't get it, if I'm not saying it here now, maybe people will not understand what they should do. And then will INEC then allow you to come with two cards?
Well, the other thing about this voter education and introduction of this card reader technology is that, well, the thing is, yes, voter awareness and everybody cannot be on the same level. There's a theory that speaks to that. I think it's technological determinism. Because I see Andy says he was in Sapele, and the card reader awareness is 0. I don't know how it can be 0. Maybe he means it's really low compared to other areas. Assuming this were the case, and you were there to observe and monitor elections, what do you see happening on that day? Because first, yes, they won't be the ones to operate it, but they will participate in the process. You think if they get there and they see security officials all standing, everything should go well?
Yes, everything should go well. But just like we have just said, yes, in Sapele, if he said 0, it's likely going to be 0. Because what I'll ask you now is to call your village. Find out the level of awareness concerning whether card readers or concerning the use of PVC. You will see that it is still 0. Now, how many people...
These are the same people who are... These are people who have picked up the PVC. So they know, they have an idea of what to do with what they picked up, some of them, if not all.
No. The issue of collecting PVC is a different thing. Go and collect your PVC. If you say that the awareness of collecting PVC is 0, then that may be relatively, it may be low, but not 0, yes. But the issue of how the PVC is going to work, the issue of your rights and what you should watch out for is certainly 0. I'll give you one example now. If, for instance, you go to if you want to vote and your thumbprint is not captured, some election officials, presiding officers may not know what to do because of the level of training they would have. They wouldn't know the issue of how to put the incident form. Some of them will even generate incident form. Yes. Some of them will generate incident forms for those whose cards could not be read at all. We've not been told whether these cards are going to be deactivated by phone, by telephone.
What INEC says is, if your card cannot be read by the card reader, it's cloned.
Yes, that's what
means it's not a card from INEC.
Yes. And that is why, we've just done mock exercise now. We had expected a situation whereby there would have been investigation of some of the cards that could not be read at all. If you have two cards, for instance, if one is completely deactivated, if it's not read, is it cloned card? If it's cloned, by who? As if you have two cards as a result of double registration.
That person that has it should tell us, because if you've got two cards and they're not read and people suspect it's cloned, of course they will ask you questions. How did you get them?
Yes. And for me that did double registration, would one have been cloned by him?
I think that this kind of, these issues will be hopefully few and far between. Not a lot of people have two cards, and not a lot of people did double registration. The thing is, if that were to be the case, don't you think the fact that polling units are situated within communities, if for instance you get to the polling unit, you had come with card number 1 and you didn't think that it mattered, and you left card number 2 at home, and that's perhaps that is a genuine card. if for some reason the card reader isn't reading your card, ideally you should be able to know immediately that I have another one. Maybe there is something wrong with this particular card. You should be able to dash home and get your new PVC. You don't think that should be easy?
No, but I think what is easier is for us to increase the voter education. Because, you know, in Lagos, your house will just be 1 minute away. But when you go to Kaduna or you go to Katsina, your house may be 1 kilometer away. And you know there is time frame. So I think the easiest thing is for all of us to embark on voter education to see how this system will work. Because it's a very good system.
The voter education instance, of course, is essential. What begins to makes one scared is if you say that in-house, within INEC members of staff, they don't know what to do in case this happens, in case that happens. And that's where people should raise concern, because ideally on that day, people see a situation where even if there's been no voter education whatsoever in the community, before the voting process starts, INEC officials should be able to tell the people gathered what the process is all about and what it's going to be like. You don't think that should be the case?
That should be the case. INEC should, but I am also saying that you should have seen the manual by now. All of us should have seen the manual so as to be able to get ready.
You mean beyond leaving it on their website?
Yes, beyond leaving it on their website. They should print the way they printed in other elections. They should distribute. I am not saying they should print maybe 100 million and distribute to us, because there may not be money, but they should print. And even when you look at what they have on their website, has it taken into consideration some of these minor things?
Okay, let me just quickly ask you to correct it, because there are those who are of the impression that you don't want the card readers or PVC to be used for these elections. That's not the case, is it?
No. I said card reader is a very wonderful thing. It's a very good innovation. You know, but what I am saying is that we should go into real voter education. We should conduct trainings, because I realized that in 2003, 2011, even the simple process, INEC officials could not apprehend it. So I am saying, I mean, if you have information of what you could see, you can actually work towards eliminating it. But if you don't have it, and you don't want to plan for it, that day, I mean, we are too big to go into a problem. That's just my own.
Okay, so just looking at some of the other areas that could pose a problem. So he says, it's a welcome idea. Go ahead, use the card reader and the PVCs, welcome. But if there are any areas that we think we can correct, we might as well go ahead and correct it before the elections. Chukwuma Ezeala is the Chairman, Election Observation Committee of the African Bar Association for West African Sub-Region. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back after the break here. Join us again.